As a heavy drinker, an alcoholic, whatever you want to call it, you're very worried about what the doctors are going to say on you. That's why everybody, or none, tells the doctor lies about how much to drink. It doesn't matter what you go in for at doctor's surgery, they always ask you, how much do you drink? Because alcohol has an effect on all parts of your body. And that's why people get colds and flus, because of drinkers. Since I've been sober, I've never had one. Never had a cold, never had a flu. Eat well, fine. When you're drinking, your immune system crashes basically, and as you get older, it gets worse, So we're going to talk about the shock and awe of actually going into hospital in a blue light ambulance. Because when you get to hospital and they take you straight through A&E to see someone, it's very important, isn't it? About 2 hours after I got taken from the flat hospital, I was in a bed on a ward. That's how ill I was. Actually, another time I went to research, but that's a different story. So I'm in this hospital, big hospital in Newcastle, the RVI, had this huge, big, distended, hard stomach. Didn't know what was wrong with me. I knew I'd been drinking a lot. I knew I'd lost a lot of weight. I knew I looked grey. I know I felt horrific. And I knew I was starting to withdraw from alcohol. But they didn't give me anything, because I said they didn't give me anything. So within a couple of hours of being there, they put me in this drip thing. Don't know what was in there. And they sort of left me. I was still feeling really bad. I kept pressing the buzzer, See the nurse, what's wrong? Because they're busy, aren't they? Oh, I don't feel well. I think I'm withdrawing from alcohol. You'll be fine. And all this sort of thing. So anyway, they must have given me something, because I didn't have any major issues like I had in the past. I didn't have any seizures in hospital or anything at that time. Next day, this male nurse came up and he said, we're going to put a drain in your stomach. What are you talking about, a drain in my stomach? He said, well, all this distended stomach, this big fat stomach you've got, is some sort of fluid on it. He didn't explain what it was. He said, it's some sort of fluid. And I think, what's all that about? And he said, the doctor will come along later on. I got about 8 o'clock, by then 9 o'clock, when 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, this doctor comes in. A tall fella. Most taller than a doctor, so I'm tall, but I'm not a doctor. So he just said casually, he said, oh, you got liver damage, really bad liver damage. I thought, what? I was so shocked. What we're going to do is we're going to drain this fluid off. I said, what do you mean fluid? What is it? He said, it's called ascites fluid. It's some sort of protein when the liver can't function properly. He said, we'll be back in 10 minutes. Came back about an hour later with this trolley thing, with a great big needle. And this needle type thing, about 18 inches long, quite thin. I said, what are you going to do that? He said, I'm going to cut you in the side of the abdomen, with the side of the stomach, and feed this needle in. He said, it's going to be painful, and it's going to take the fluid off. I said, well, that's good, because I was in a lot of pain with this fluid. I didn't realise how bad it was. And he said, well, I thought, well, maybe a few minutes to drain this fluid. He said, it's going to take 8 hours. 8 hours? So he cut into the side, and it was pretty painful. He numbed the area, obviously. Put this needle in, there was a bit of bleeding, but he said that's to be expected. And then attached me to one, like a catheter type bag, and all this fluid started coming out really quickly. It was just like wheat coloured, really, but thicker. It looked thicker than that. And I went on for hours and hours, and actually I could see my stomach coming down, over the time. 8 hours later, they'd taken off 26 litres of fluid. That's 26 kilos in weight of fluid. No wonder I hadn't been feeling very well. Went to sleep for a few hours. I felt slightly better after that. And I still didn't know what was wrong with me, really. Just I had some liver disease. I knew this other doctor came in and said, oh, you're looking a bit better today. And I said, well, actually, what's wrong with me? She said, oh, you've got cirrhosis of the liver. I said, what? Oh, yeah, that's what you got. but we need a scan to confirm it, all that sort of thing. I'm completely shocked then, obviously. But it wasn't introduced to me in a kindly manner. It was like, oh, you got this wrong with you, got that wrong with you, we'll be back there. That was an acute medical ward. I was in there for 2 weeks and they did another couple of drains off me with all this stuff. And the shock of it all, I was just lost for words. I'm very lost for words, didn't gather. And I just thought, why has this just suddenly happened? Surely it would have some warnings. No warnings whatsoever. So that's why it's called the silent killer, you see, this liver disease. And the shock of it all, honestly, I haven't got the vocabulary to explain how I felt. I felt that my life was completely over, and somebody just shot me, and that was the end of it, But I had a lot more treatments, and a few more treatments, and a lot more hospital time after that. But you've got to get seen as soon as you can. I should have gone before, but I just kept thinking, no, it's just the drink that's making me ill. It's the drink that's making me ill. But I kept drinking to make myself better. Because if you don't go earlier, the damage is going to get worse. And I heard a doctor mention the other day on TV that obviously the alcohol-related death rate is much higher than it was 4 years ago. It's gone up 42%. And once you get to the stage of where I was, hospital, and symptoms like the ascites fluid, and I had an infection called spontaneous bacterial peritonitis, then it's very, very difficult, it's very rare for your liver to recover from that level of damage. And I've managed it. I don't know how. I've done exactly what the doctor told me, and I managed to get out and do some exercise after 2 years in a wheelchair. And I look after my diet, I've never drank, and I've been very lucky to get where I am now. So when you get anything, if you're starting feeling well with the alcohol, you all know what a hangover is, but if it goes past a hangover and you got the feeling 3 days later, you still got a hangover. You've got anything like a distended stomach, any pain in the liver, any sweats, anything which is a little bit abnormal compared to normal drinking withdrawals, then you've got to get to the doctors. I would say the time to get to the doctor is when you haven't hair of the dog regularly, to try and get you out of bed, or trying to get you to function, get you to work, that sort of thing. Because when you get to that stage, I think you've fallen off the cliff. I think you're in active addiction then. I mean, some people have a hair of the dog on holiday, a couple of times a year, but I'm talking about every day when people are sneaking drink into the house and, drinking in the car and drinking at work and all this sort of thing and hiding and stuff. That's when the damage is starting to really, really gather pace, I suppose, best way to put it. And that's the time to get some help. You will get a shot when you've totally got problems. I think we all know as heavy drinkers that we've got issues, because your body can only take so much. I never drank any spirits, wine. This is all just lager, strong lager, not particularly strong Peroni, Stella, stuff you can get in any pub. It wasn't anything like special brew. I never drank anything like that. Or Kestrel Supers and all that. God, I couldn't drink that. I did try it once, but I couldn't palate that. So it'll creep up on you. It's time and it's regular drinking, which is a problem, which causes liver problems. Hepatitis and that sort of thing is slightly different. And binge drinking is different. But if you're a steady drinker, you're drinking most days, if not every day, 5-6 pints a day of just lager or beers or Guinness, you could have major problems when you're older. I'm talking older, 50, that sort of thing. That's the average age for problems to occur because of alcohol, 50 to 60. In fact, the average age for passing away through liver disease is 57. And funny enough, that's 5 years ago, I was 57. So I've been very, very lucky. However, if you enjoy the channel, but benefit from it, I suppose, please subscribe and share it. If you've got any comments, drop me a line and I'll speak to you soon.